Hello, welcome back to the stream. I'm very sorry I took so long to come up. I normally chuck the starting soon on and just like finish off a few bits and pieces, and I ran downstairs and I decided to apply another coat of French polish to my antique writing desk, which I'm restoring, so it took a little longer than I expected it to. But I'm back, continuing with my space painting. I apologise again if you can hear the fan on in the background. It is quite loud because I've had to turn it up because it's so hot today, which is kind of why I'm more alive later, because it's just been too hot. We have an air conditioning unit downstairs, so I've just been laying downstairs most of the day. But if you had joined me for my stream the other day, you may notice that there have been a lot of changes. I don't think the camera is picking up too well, but there's some more detailing. I've added some different, another shade of orange to kind of bring out these clouds. I've also moved the picture to this corner of the screen because this is kind of an interesting, or it will be kind of an interesting bit. This is just going to be bleh, green, boring. This corner isn't very interesting. We've got the start of our seahorse here, and at the moment I'm just kind of doing some lighting. So I had my lighter shade of orange, so see this pillar is standing out like I wanted it to. I've started in the yellow around here to bring it out. And that's pretty much just where I left off. I had about a 5-minute break to grab some dinner. Do let me know how the sound is, by the way. Hi, Kanani. How you doing? Ah, thank you, and thank you. I am, where was I? I'm very much enjoying it at the moment. Sorry, I'm working down here, and you can't quite, scoot you up a little bit more. It doesn't really want to go any further, but I won't be down here for much longer, don't worry. Logged at the pool. Oh, I'm so jealous. I really want to go swimming. I think I might take the dog down to the beach at the weekend. So we're having a bit of a heat wave over in Europe. And I'm not liking it. Oh, bless him. Oh, can you send some of the rain over here, please? I enjoy the sun. I don't like the heat. I enjoy the sun. But when it's really hot like this, I dread it because I know that means there's going to be a big thunderstorm coming, and I'm absolutely terrified of thunderstorms. I just don't like sudden loud noises, so thunder's my my worst enemy. And as you can probably see, I'm not doing this exactly with the reference image, but it's Kanani, no. But I'm kind of doing a near as damn it approach, so want it to be somewhat recognizable. I'm not quite that much of a perfectionist. And the sponge has been demoted to just blending duty. Aside from being like the primary medium the other day. I've done all the big backgroundy bits. So I'm using acrylic. Not sponsored or anything, but I literally just got Cross for All. It's like £20 or something off Amazon. I was like, I need some more paints. So normally I use these big ones, and I didn't want, these are like £7 each. Whereas the small palette gives me a wide variety of shades and tones and things, rather than me spending a fortune on paints I'm not going to use that often, to be honest. I used to paint loads. I don't that much nowadays. I find painting takes too long, and I'm very impatient. So I like to get my work done now. The antique restoration that I'm doing is actually, I don't mind it taking forever because I can see it coming up. I really should have been taking photos. Yes, I'm going to do the wood burning streams at some point. I don't know if you popped in. I can't remember if you... Whoops, daisies. If you popped in or not the other day. But, so my uncle's girlfriend has commissioned me to make Orlog, which is the game in... the Viking game in Valhalla. So I've drawn all these out. And all the black bits are basically going to wood burn. And then I won't do this bit on stream, but I'll be cutting them out, sanding them down, and then polishing them up and things. I've also, a friend of mine, I've commissioned him to make some of the bowls, because you like cast through dice or something in the bowls. I don't actually know how to play it. His girlfriend kind of just sent me loads of photos and was like, right, these please. Thankfully his birthday's not until November, so I have a long time. Yeah, so my friends made the bowls for me. So just plain bowls, they look fantastic, and I'm going to be doing some wood carvings on them. So that'll be fun. I've done quite a few wood carvings myself. Do I have any of them? I've got one. 1 second. That's really annoying that I don't have more, but this was the... Oh, is there an actual art category? Okay. But this was the first... I actually designed this. It's Yggdrasil with Helvega... Helvega? I always pronounce it wrong. Ratatoshka and... oh, for goodness sake. Begins with an N. He's the worm that nibbles on Yggdrasil's roots. I've forgotten his name. But this is the first iteration I did. I'm actually going to sand it down because I improved on the design. So, because quite a few of my friends liked it, so I did them for commissions. And just a little. This is like the first wood carving I did, so it's not great, but it's a it's like a kind of a totem I keep with my plants. It's meant to like keep them happy and healthy, and it seems to work every now and then when it wants to. Right, I'm going to try and change the stream category then. Oh, thank you. I said I really like doing my art. stream info. So an art. Nice. There we go. I did a thing. I'm still working out how to use Twitch properly. And I'm very happy because I've got some new computer parts coming end of the week. I finally got round to buying an SSD, so that will make things a little bit quicker. And a better cooling system, because particularly as it's so hot, you know, my computer's overheating and it's the worst. Yes. So Steve and Jess are going to have a whale of a time. So Steve's agreed to help me install it, because anyone who knows me, I'm very bad with technology. So I'm going to be like FaceTiming them, and they're going to walk me through how to install these things. Plus, if anyone's interested, another project I'm working on at the moment. So my granddad, both my granddads died when my parents were teenagers, and I mean, they were both very creative. My dad's dad, well, he was a metal worker, he was a shipbuilder, and he mainly worked with metal, but he did a lot of woodwork. My mum's dad was a carpenter. He also built ships, but like wooden boats. And he built like all of their furniture, everything. And I remember for like my 13th birthday, my mum had spent basically since I was born looking for like a jewelry box or like a storage box kind of thing that would have been the quality that he made me, because he made one for her, which we've still got. And now he started making a chess set. You can't really see the lights right on it. So there's all these beautiful pieces. Some of them have got chips in. This one actually, I don't know if you can see it, but her head had snapped off, so I had to fix that. This is it being cleaned. It's like a nice ivory colour. Beforehand it was like practically yellow because it still had the gunk on it from being taken from the moulds. So I need to finish cleaning up all of these. I've got tiny pipettes that, because they weren't perfect molds. This is the first time he'd ever tried molds. There are air holes from where the resin bubbles. So I need to fill in all of these, paint them like a nice white and a nice like ebony black colour for the black pieces, obviously. And I'm doing this up for my brother for Christmas. So that's another very big project. It won't be something I'll be doing on stream because it'll literally be me over a bucket for several hours just washing these to get all the gunk off. So I'm a very busy bee at the moment, but I'm very excited because I'll get to finish them off. He started working on them, I think, about 6 months before he died, because he was really ill. And so I get to finish them. And we're buying like a mahogany chessboard, which my mum wants me to make fancy. So I want to get like some mahogany skirting to put around the outside, to then like give it a nice polish up and everything. So, she doesn't half make things difficult. Like, whilst you're home and you're studying and you're doing 1,000,001 projects, do you mind if you do this thing which, you know, has very emotional ties Very important, you know. My dad died before he finished it. No pressure, no pressure. I look forward to it. I use a lot of his tools as well anyway. We've practically got a hardware store in the garage. My dad was a shipbuilder as well. He worked with his dad. He actually worked on HMS Belfast in his apprenticeship, which is pretty cool. Don't tell anyone, he stole one of the hubcaps for the cannons. So, I don't know if they have things like that in America or whatever, but when you go to ships, HMS Belfast was decommissioned after the Second World War. But on the cannons and things, they have like these metal caps, like decorative caps kind of thing. And my dad nicked one, and it's mounted on a piece of wood in the garage. Oh, I know, that would be cool. I do like working with my hands. Another fun story. So, my granddad, my dad's dad, was actually commissioned. Commission is what it's called. He was actually on HMS Belfast. I can't remember if he was just visiting on there, but he was in the Royal Marines as well. So he was on a lot of Navy ships, and he used a lot of the guns and and everything. So when my dad doing his apprenticeship, what they did, they basically were all stationed on HMS Belfast when they were doing repairs and working on it and everything. So a bunch of these like 19-year-olds all there. Now my granddad had told my dad how to operate the big cannons. So these are like the ones. So you've got like a battleship here kind of thing, and these are the big cannons that like lift up and. I can't remember exactly what they're called. They're like, I don't know if they're anti-aircraft, but the big uns. And my dad, who's very much like myself and my brother, he would get into all sorts of mischief. But he had that kind of face that they'd be like, oh, who did this? He'd be like, well, not me. Couldn't be me. And he would never get into trouble. And that's exactly what me and my brother used to do at school. Never get into trouble. Like, me? Never. I'm far too well behaved. And so, like, basically the leaders, the boss kind of thing, they wouldn't stay on the ship, but the apprentices would. So during the night, my dad would move the gun turrets. Like, he'd lift them up. Or, you know, face them different ways. Every morning, the guy, I have to ask him, I can't remember what the what they're called, but basically like the captain, he'd come on board and he'd go to my dad's friends, and he'd like have them all lined up and like, who moved the cannon? Don't know, sir. Someone moved it. No idea, sir. What's he? Not me, sir. My dad was quite a small kid, you know, he was a beanpole, and kind of short as well. So not these things weigh tons. Not me, sir. Not at all. Meanwhile, his mates knew exactly it was him, so they'd be giggling away. This meant they were guilty, and they'd have to stay behind and do like muck work and grunt work and stuff like that, whilst my dad's just there like they hated him. We've been meaning to go to HMS Belfast together because it's up in London. It's docked on the Thames, and my dad and I go to London quite a bit. So it's kind of like our thing. We'll go up to London for the day. And we've been meaning to go on there because we walk past it all the time and go, one day we should go there. Some of the stories he's got. like there was a story about during the war. It was, I think it's a Chinese laundry work, or someone working in laundry. Is it a laundry or kitchen? But you had to go through the kitchen to get to the laundry or something like that. So I can't. It's a bit confused in my mind. But there was a story that, you know, during a bombing of the ship or attack of the ship, this guy died, and so now he haunts the ship. And my dad, one night, they'd all get very, very drunk after work hours and stumble aboard the ship. Him and his mates were, shh, oh no, you shut up, shh. All that casual, you know, don't get caught, but you're being as loud as a pack of elephants. And, you know, they started walking through to the kitchen, unaware that, like, the captain and a couple of his buddies were on the ship, also rather drunk, and coming out from the kitchen. So these group of teenagers hear these noises, these really quiet, like, clanging and banging and everything in the kitchen, and they're like, oh my god, it's the ghost. These very drunk Navy men hear these clanging and banging from the other side of the kitchen door and go, oh my god, it's the ghost. So they both end up kind of jumping out at each other, scaring each other shitless, and then just go, don't, never mention this again. No. These strong, fearsome Navy men crapping themselves because they're absolutely hammered by being scared by a bunch of teenagers, and the teenagers being, you know, the same. He got up to lots of mischief, shall we say. But he really enjoyed engineering. It's great because, I mean, I do like aerospace engineering, and I did want to go into it. I won an award for a project I did on aerospace engineering when I was 15, 16. But honestly, I couldn't go into it because there's so much electronics. I hate electronics with a passion. But, you know, I do still like space science. Space science denotes the missions. It's not, you know, learning about space. That's astrophysics. Just some clarification in there. And so I do get to talk to my dad about engineering all the time. Because after he finished his apprenticeship, he really wanted to go into technical drawing. So kind of like the designing and stuff. He's really good, but he's still got all of his equipment downstairs. And, you know, if you get into design something, it's like, blueprints are beautiful. But he ended up working in, like, making prosthetics. He used to make metal prosthetics. So I always laugh because I'm very accident prone. I break lots of bones, particularly my toes. I said it's okay, you know. If something ever needs to be lopped off, my dad can make me a custom. I need to badger him at some point because we need to make a bench for the garden, which I do not think is going to happen in the next 2 weeks whilst I'm down home. But who knows? We may feel very inspired one day. It's going to be like a storage bench. Oh, thank you for the host, Booby. Clumsiness. It is my life. It's really weird streaming without my headphones on, because obviously I'm not like listening to any game audio or anything. There's no need for me to have my headphones on. But oh my gosh, is it so much cooler? No worries. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for dropping by. I'm kind of just here to chat. There will be lots of moments of silence where I'm thinking. Oh, hey Erin, thank you. It's coming along nicely. Ignore like the blue bit in the middle is still kind of, it's a placeholder. I'm mainly working on the orangey red bits for now. No, so I actually need to steal the airbrush because I've got some pigments. I've got some pigment and I've got the enamel to mix it in with, but I need something to apply it. And I could like brush paint it, but it's going to be thick and clunky and it'll probably end up really, really crap. And I'd rather not it be crap. I know words. No, this is something that I decided to do the other day, and is now my life. But I'm going through it surprisingly quickly, so I'm quite happy with that. I don't want to be spending forever on it, but at the same time I don't want to rush it. Obviously I'm going to do my resin pour on it later. Obviously once it's done. I'm just really looking forward to putting the stars on. It's always fun, like, picking the stars. And it kind of brings it all together. Flies everywhere. No, stop, it's too hot. Just there, in my face. Apparently I'm very attracted to flies right now. I do genuinely have that problem though, sometimes, because of my hair. Bees, and sometimes wasps, and I don't like wasps, but bees love me. It's a sploosh. How are you doing? It is very hot. I'm jealous. I was talking to Peter from our course earlier, and he's going up to Scotland on a lake. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna be so nice and cool and pretty. And I'm boiling. As I said the other day though, hot weather means clear skies generally, and it's perfect time. If you don't know, the Perseid meteor shower started the other day, It hasn't peaked yet. It won't peak until mid to late August. But if you go out, generally early hours in the morning is best. So between 12 and 4 o'clock in the morning is optimum time. And just look directly up. They originate in the Perseus constellation. But I mean, if you're in the northern hemisphere, you can see them from Cassiopeia, which is kind of like a wonky W, over kind of northeast, and they come over to the west. But because of where they come from, you can see them if you just look directly up, and they're gorgeous. And they're it's one of my favourite events every year. And there have been lots of fireballs sighted recently as well, so they are really cool to see. If you do catch a fireball, if you make a note of your coordinates, what time you saw it, and roughly what direction it was heading, so, you know, cardinal directions, whatever, you can tweet it at, I think it's called Fireball Watch, and it actually gives some really, like, invaluable data. One of my friends, Anya, her and a team went out to a site where a fireball had been reported, and they found it, and they're currently gathering some really good information from it. We're never going to be free of yellow, folks. Every time we think that the yellow is done, we're going to need more yellow. It never ends! This bit, I am actually going to go back to my sponge. Because there's a lot of yellow up here. I had not enough paint on my palette. See, this is why you should clean your palette and not have it disgusting like mine. See how awful that is. And that I cleaned it the other day. But you can't tell what's dry paint and what's not. Got a big block of yellow here. Honestly, it looks so much better in the camera than it does right here. The camera really kind of picks up the contrast. do let me know if the microphone is picking up my fan too much, if you're hearing some roaring in the background, and I'll move my fan back a little bit or turn it down. It's on the highest setting at the moment. I do not cope with heat very well. And I hope the music's okay, by the way. I updated my background music, including some chill lo-fi beats. Sorry, what? I need to let that paint dry a little bit because it's just picking up the paint now rather than applying more. You stay there. We'll go and yellow up some other bits. Sponge is retired once more. I know I said I'm ambidextrous, but for fine detail, I prefer to use my right hand. And these bits, because they're just the smaller areas of yellow around here, and that is quite a small image. It's a massive image on my second screen, so I'm looking at the detail quite closely. Need to apply it a lot more carefully than I would otherwise. What is kind of nice, I find when painting space landscapes, what you call it? Happy sinister. Space scenes. Is that, yeah, I do know a lot of people, or I've seen a lot of people in their videos for these cloud bits. They almost do it like to perfection. Like they draw each individual cloud piece and then build it up with all this depth. Just sponge. Have a darker colour, chuck a lighter colour on there, do it in bits and then boom, you have depth. I can't be bothered to like do this for each little tiny cloud piece. This is this is kind of in the forefront. It's very obvious in the image. That's why that has detail in it. Everything else, I don't care. If anyone tuned in expecting like a semi-professional art and tips and all that here, you're in the wrong place. And I apologise. So if my head gets in the way occasionally, I'm trying to bend down and have a look at what I'm painting properly. It's alright standing up and everything, and you don't need to be like face onto the canvas when doing these bigger bits, but with details you kind of need to be up close. What might also help is if I actually put my glasses on, but who needs glasses? I'm sure it'll be fine. Thin yellow trail around the border. I suppose a good thing with it being hot, as well as I'm using acrylics, then they dry quite quickly anyway. Even with, I am mixing them with water a little bit. But because it's so warm, it dries quite quickly. So I can just bash on through. I basically want you to go up here. There we go. So I'll connect them up. I don't really have a focus for talking about anything in particular, so if anyone wants to have a chat, you're more than welcome. I'm just very bad with coming up with conversation pieces. One, when I'm talking to myself, and two, when I'm concentrating. The biggest problem I'm having, I really like this section, but this part is like the clouds here are really quite wispy, I have just kind of got the block colours. I haven't done much detailing and shadowing and or lighting or anything here, so I'm sure that will improve it once I've added some of like the yellows and around here the greens and everything. But it kind of looks a little bit like an eldritch terror reaching out at this point. Okay, that's a little bit more than what I want, or what I wanted. It's kind of a disjointed bit between these two, and I'm trying to oh, what's the word? I'm forgetting all my words today. I'm trying to highlight that this is disjointed a bit more. Hello, Ed. How is everybody? Kind of flicks up a bit at the end, actually, doesn't it? That curves, you know, that's a much flatter curve in the actual photo than I've got. But you know what? This is an edited image anyway. In reality, all of this is just black, and you can just about see the seahorse. So I'm taking some artistic liberties. Because this is an edited infrared and I suspect radio wave image. So let me live. I say to no one but myself, I'm the only one criticising it. Unless there's someone watching right now going, God, doesn't know what he's on about. That's a black image in reality. Didn't fancy working in monochrome. I'm not that good. Shush your face, Ed. I know. Let's do a raffle. So if you type exclamation mark join, you can earn. You are very smart, Ed. You have glasses to prove it. You can earn some quarks. If I ever make it to affiliate, I'm gonna have to make like the leaderboard stuff. They're gonna have to be like atoms or subatomic particles, and then you get up to atoms. Oh, yikes. That's what happens when you play the game. Sometimes you lose. Oh, excuse me, I'm just shifting. I fidget a lot. Get those Shumaloos out of here. We don't have no Shumaloos here. Oh, it's gonna need so much shading. Well, what's the opposite of shading? Lighting. It's gonna need so much lighting. No! She's gotta take the Shumaloos out. Target is in sight. Oh dear. Thank you ever so much. I'm worried these streams are kind of boring because you don't really see much take place. I mean, I suppose we're seeing it's kind of doing some highlighting, so like the details are kind of coming out a bit more. But the thing is with painting is that it's a slow process. So thank you for bearing with me. I have been doing some things outside the streams, obviously. Like I added a lot more detail today, just to kind of hurry things along a little bit. But I'll definitely be posting the photos of the final product. Yeah, thank you. This is actually really fun and quite calming. I'm used to screaming a lot on my streams with playing games. And I'm just like, oh, you know, I'm just vibing here. it's in the evening, so the folks are downstairs or getting ready for bed. It's all quiet outside, there's no children screaming. We've got lots of kids on our estate, so lots and lots of screaming. It's just rather chill. Sorry, you literally cannot see what I'm doing now. But trust me, it's really not that interesting. I'm just doing some dabbing. Also, it does, if you keep noticing that my mic goes incredibly silent because obviously there's the background noise from the fan and me breathing. It's because I keep muting my mic because I'm humming away to myself. We hum in my family. Oh, I knew someone was gonna say it. Fine, I'm stippling. It was quite fun. I was doing fun. It was interesting. I was helping my friend do some physics revision from like just going over some of the stuff we did this year. Oh dear, it was like, what is? Sorry, I don't have my headphones on, so I could just hear this really quiet like sax from the other side of my desk from where my headphones were laying. Oh yeah, well we're doing light and matter, which was my worst subject anyway. And oh dear, it was quite fun to get back into doing some studying, doing some reading. We had a full mental breakdown when we got to entropy. Just because it's really difficult to understand what entropy is. And it hurt my little brain. But I've got my book on entropy though. If anyone's interested in physics, I would highly recommend A Student's Guide to. There's a whole series on all sorts to do with physics, the mathematical side of things, the thermodynamics, all sorts. And I have the whole series I bought at the beginning of the year, and they have been integral. Math joke. It was quite nice having a bit of a refresher on a couple of things. I'm kind of looking forward to terrified of what we're going to be looking at next year. especially because we'll be on campus more. This year I think I went on campus twice. Thank you for the donation. Oh, thanks ever so much, sweet. Now, I was on campus twice this year for labs, and it was literally a case of, we had to have our mask. We're given like the perspex like face shields thing. We had to sit, like, there was practically, there were like 3 tables separating everyone, each person. Plus my lab partner is actually still in China. A lot of the foreign students didn't bother coming over because, fair enough, what's the point, just stay at home for another year. And then they very quickly realised that that wasn't going to work, so we just did all of our labs. Like, in our rooms, they'd give us the data and then we just had to write up the report. So I'm looking forward to actually being in like the lecture hall and stuff this year. I don't know how much you will be. Even once would be nice. I've been to lots of lectures at that uni, but it would be nice to do it whilst I was a student there. No electrocuting. We do get to start working with lasers next year though, so that's gonna be cool. Like the really powerful lasers. They're powerful enough that you get immediate expulsion if you mess around with them. They're pretty cool. I operated them before, and it's just cool because you're like, I'm working with lasers right now. Bizarrely, I'm really looking forward to the maths. I've really enjoyed the maths units this year. I was expecting them to be like my most dreaded subject. I think they're actually the ones I did best in. Yeah, use some yellow down here. I've decided to look up space news. This is going to be the new. This is going to be a show now. I'll be painting space things and talking about space. So Hubble operations have resumed. I honestly can't believe the Hubble is still going. I'm glad. Hubble has a very special place in my heart. but I'm amazed. I love it when missions go way, way past their expected lifetime. Like my friend works on Mars X, or Mars Express, sorry. Mars X is the mission plan to go to Mars. Very funny it. So Mars Express, I think it had like a 3-year life expectancy, and it's been going on for about 15 now. And you know, still operating, still working well. Another friend of mine works on she works on Integral and XMM Newton, which are both really cool missions. Definitely check them out if you don't know of them. XMM Newton is the X-ray multi-mirror telescope. And fun fact, I actually got to operate it. I got to move it, so I got to change its attitude, which in space basically means the way it's facing. I got to change it and gather some data just before they had to downlink everything. So there's an area around the Earth called the Van Allen Belt, which is an area where there's lots of high energy objects and particles and things, and they can be magnetic, and they're very ionizing. So it basically means if you pass your very expensive telescope with your very expensive electronic equipment on it through all these high energy particles, you now have a very expensive lawn ornament. It will just destroy it, and it will wipe all of the data and everything. So whilst they travel through this bit, they have to turn off all the electronics. Now what's really cool is that just when they start detecting higher amounts of these particles, high amounts of energy particles, the room, like, there's a siren, it flashes red, you know, it's like alert, alert, alert. And I was actually supposed to go off to a meeting when XMM Newton was scheduled to pass through this belt. So, you know, I did all the stuff by programming it, which is really cool, and then literally just as I was about to leave, all these alarms went off. There's like a big red light, you know, that spins and, you know, flashes and everything. So I got to watch them. Then they just run around, all these scientists, you know, chilling in chairs. Suddenly they're jumping up, running around to all the computers. They have to like download what they can, and they have to turn off everything, all electronic things on the satellite, and they just have to wait for it to come out of this section of radiation, which I think for XMM Newton is about 8 hours. So this is where I did my work experience when I was 15 at the European Space Agency. And at the time, Herschel and Planck were still alive. I remember when they launched, I got to do some work. I downlinked some telemetry on that as well. I've actually got... So this is the notebook I kept whilst I was working there, back when my handwriting was actually neat. And I did all sorts, you know, working on various things. Here we go, that's what the Planck control room looked like, drawn by a 15-year-old me. And yes, I got to stay, so I stayed until... So I got to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I stayed until about 9 o'clock at night watching this Passover. So it's only at there's only a couple of hour window where Herschel would pass over Earth at just the right time and angle for them to gather all of the data from the day and then uplink all of the information, all of the commands for the next 24 hours. And again, it was just a really cool environment to be in. And they're all massive nerds as well. When I was there was one of the guys working there. Please tell me to shut up if none of this is interesting. I'm just kind of rattling on. One of the guys working there, Chris White. There were a bunch of dinosaurs lined up at the top of his computer, and he said, "Can you tell me what this is in reference to?" Now back then, I was a massive nerd, but I wasn't a geek. Like, I grew up on Star Wars and things like that, but I wasn't like a sci-fi geek or anything. I was just, books. And so I was like, oh, is it, and he came up with all sorts of things. I had my brother back home investigating this, and we said, well, is it because, I remember finding out that Planck, the guy who, well, he was a physicist, but the guy, that's what the telescope was named after in the mission. He established a college or university, like a college part of a university, I think, and they study paleontology there, or it's something. I remember it's something to do with this Planck Institution and paleontology, and I was like, oh, is it this? Because they study those dinosaurs, and they were like, well, I never knew this. That's quite interesting. But no, it's not. And the mission director at the end, because I was there for 2 weeks, the whole 2 weeks I was trying to guess, well, why were there dinosaurs in the control room? I've actually got it in a note in my notebook. Why are there dinosaurs in the control room? Have I got my theories? I'm pretty sure I wrote down why. Why are there dinosaurs in the control room? But as it turns out, it's from, I think it's actually the opening scene of Firefly, where they have he's playing with the dinosaurs on top of the console. Goes, curse your sudden but inevitable betrayal, and it was just that. It was just like a geeky little thing, and I was overthinking it, as I am prone to do. No, I think it was. I know I have a note in here somewhere. And that's it. The first day I was working with the guy who's head of the Lisa Pathfinder mission, and they were trying to get support for a new propellant type, which I thought was so cool. But it took so long that Lisa Pathfinder was supposed to help identify gravitational waves, or like prove that gravitational waves are a thing. But they basically took so long to get the traction off the ground for this new propellant type that we discovered gravitational waves before Lisa I still don't think Lisa Pathfinder's been launched yet. So yeah, I feel so bad for them. I will find this. This stopped being an art stream a good 30 minutes ago. See, I was learning about Kepler's laws. Maybe I wrote at the back. Yes, dinosaurs. Why? Paleontology. I was thinking like paleontology, maybe it's because that dinosaurs are extinct, and so it was something kind of like a looking back in space. You're looking back in time, and maybe that was the link. one of my answers was, why not dinosaurs? Maybe you like them. There's also Planck, name of the satellite. Planck was near the end of its lifespan, therefore it was old, and dinosaurs are old. That counts, right? Digging up the past, so that's what Planck was doing. It's like unofficial mission statement was digging up the past, or like, you know, bringing up the past. And it turns out it was just fireflies. It was just from the TV show. So there you go. Oh, no, my paint's right now. I talked for so long about nonsense. That's honestly the best, most interesting time I've ever had. Spent 2 weeks working there and at EUMETSAT when they launched one of the MSG-3 missions, which is a weather satellite. EUMETSAT is the European Meteorological Satellite Company. And again, I got to attend the launch party, so I actually got to see the launch of this satellite. And then I got to have, because it was launched by the European Space Operations Centre, which is where I was working with on Planck and everything, and XMM. And then for my second week, I transferred over to EUMETSAT, where they had the handover for their satellite, the MSG-3, and I got to help with the handover. Although I mostly just remember being really, really tired because I've been staying up till like 5 o'clock every morning. We were told at school that we had to do a presentation on everything that we'd learnt on our work experience. So I was staying up till really late, really early, working on these. Like working on this presentation, and then I got back to school and they were like, oh yeah, don't worry about it. So, are you kidding me? So I just remember being really tired when I was working at EUMETSAT. Hey, yeah, I just saw, we were just talking about the news for Hubble. So we're going to get a few more years out of it. You know, by the time Hubble actually finally dies, the James Webb Telescope might finally be ready. That thing is never going to launch. Yeah, it would be wonderful if they could go back out to Hubble and do some repairs, but I don't think that's going to happen. Our baby's just gonna float away. Yeah. When was it originally meant to launch? I think it was like 2015 or something. And then it was 2019, then it was 2020, and now it's just until it further notice, you know. It will at some point. Which, I mean, I totally get. It's, you know, it's not something you want to rush. No, I don't want to become famous. Go away. Oh, I still haven't figured out how to block. How to delete messages. Ed, help me. Oh, it is absolutely not going to be ready by November. It's getting there, but it's not going to be ready by then. There's still so much else going on. And I think it would be a shame to rush it at this stage. Thank you, Ed. And yeah, it's getting there. No more water has fallen on it. It's staying on my desk now until it's done. Which, I mean, hopefully won't be too much longer, right? Right? I know it's a lie. I'm ignoring this half. This half doesn't exist, okay? More fidgeting. More fidgeting. I'm excited for when I move because I'm going to get myself a proper chair, like a proper desk chair. And like that, it kind of has like a footstool that you can put up. I'm not going to use it as a footstool, I'm just going to sit on my chair cross-legged. Because that's, I just prefer to. That just means that I can put my feet up properly. The further I get over to this section, it's like it becomes really quite wispy, and I'm really struggling with that. I'm gonna do the resin pour though. I'm gonna just put like a tiny little bit of like glittery pigment in with it, so it looks so shiny. I like shiny things. What can I say? Iridescent and shiny things. This has also been a bit of an exercise in conserving my paints. I am terrible, particularly with like my big bottles of paint, so I'm just going and just having like a whole lump, and I use like a dollop of it, and that's it. And so then I've just wasted all this paint. But with these tiny little tubes, I'm actually only using what I need. Who would have thunk? And it's lasting longer. Pro tip: your paint lasts longer if you don't use as much. You don't waste it. Thank you. Yeah, it would be really nice actually. I'm looking forward to doing bits and bobs. As I said, my pyrography is kind of my main thing, and I'm going to be opening up my Etsy shop again soon, and I take pyrography commissions on that, so I'll actually stream commissions like that. I want to finish off my personal projects or things like I've already got lined up first before I open up my shop again. But I'm looking forward to be able to do that. I love having my shop because people would just come to me with like really vague things sometimes, or just something that I'd never even thought of, and I'd work on them with the designs, and it would just be really fun to do. You know, just things I wouldn't have come up with myself. I don't think I follow you, Rob. I do not. Now I do. So, shout out to my friend Rob. You've been doing lots of art streams lately, haven't you? What is it you're doing? You're taking part in like a challenge thing, aren't you? And he's working on a comic at the moment. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but your art is really cool. Go check it out. Oh, now I've got this in my way. I don't want it to go away. July, the Arts July fight. Awesome. Yeah, Rob's our DM for like the Pathfinder game that we're in, and he's an awesome DM. and his comic is about, it takes place in that universe, doesn't it? Start leaving this bit, otherwise I'm going to drive myself crazy. I say as I continue to do more on this section. Don't like it. It's meant to be all wispy. I think we're just gonna have to like apply really thin coats of blue over it because it's kind of translucent up here, and it's rather difficult to get that effect. At least I find it's difficult for me to get that effect. I'm using like a practically dry brush. Really helps with the wisp. But it's having that wispy, but also having the colours identifiable. Like if I just tried to do that with the orange, it would look like this kind of dark mottled bit. It wouldn't look like the orange, which stands out very clearly in the picture. And then these bits kind of look like almost a rolling cloud. It's a rather rolling cloud here. You know what? I think it's time for another raffle. Quick guys, join the raffle. We enable gambling on this channel. No, Splashy, that sucks. No money. You're too nice. Also, I keep hesitating because I'm not sure. Your name's Ethan, yeah? I'm so sorry. I'm really bad with names, and you just keep being Tag in my head. It is, okay. Every time I go to say, hey, Ethan, I go, oh no, is that his name? So, Ethan, you're too kind. Stop giving other people your monies. You're ruining the quark economy. We were just talking about entropy. Congratulations, you won! Gotta take Splashy to a casino stat. Ooh. Let's not take you to a casino, huh? I reckon if I went to like a blackjack table, I'd clear them out. My mum is the meanest blackjack player ever. Like seriously, you cannot beat her. And like we were raised on blackjack. 1 card. Don't you spend it all at once? And that's if I used to have a really bad like mental hang up about maths, and that would kind of be how she would get us to practice maths. So we have, I don't know how many families have like a penny jar, so just like your odd pennies, whatever. You just we have like this big, it's like a massive like moonshine bottle kind of thing. It's huge, it's really heavy, and we just have all our pennies in that, and we would empty that out on weekends, and that's what we'd play blackjack with. And we just practice like adding up and things and stuff. Oh no! Yeah. What? This is my channel. What? Guys, I have no money. I didn't realize I had to watch my own streams to get quarks. I've created a false economy. Thank you. I'm quark poor. We do indeed. Hey guys, get your kids to play blackjack. One day I will learn how to play poker. My uncle and everything plays poker. I just never, like, my friends tried to explain it to me and I was just like, I don't know. Give me solitaire. I do like solitaire. I always keep a pack of cards with me. Anywhere you go, you should always bring a pack of cards. And I just play solitaire all the time. Particularly if I'm procrastinating something, that's kind of like my thing. So if I really don't want to do something, I'll play solitaire, and when I get it, when I get it all out, then the universe is aligned, and now I have to start the thing I don't want to do because I finished solitaire. Executive dysfunction is fun. So I trick it. Congratulations, you won! Now you have to do work. The first time my brother played poker, he had no idea what to do, and I can't remember what he got, but he won, and his friends were furious. Like, he was just putting down random cards, doing random stuff. He had no idea what he was doing, but, you know, he wiped the floor of them. It was beautiful. Oh, so I'm actually going to have to take a break quickly. Because I've still got my writing desk outside. Because I was waiting for the last layer of polish to dry. So I need to bring it in because it's pitch black outside. I will be back in a moment. back. Sorry about that. I completely forgot that I'd left it outside. Well, I didn't forget, but I didn't realise the time. It's going really nice now, actually. I'll put some photos of that once it's done as well up. I post photos of all my art stuff on Instagram and all that, so you can find it there, or on Twitter, or on Discord. I've got them all links, and they're at the top on my banner there as well. Yeah, French polish takes forever to do. You have to apply it layer by layer, and you have to leave about an hour or so between each layer. More time as the layers build up, which they are starting to now. French polish is called shellac or something like that, that you mix together. I just bought a ready mixed bottle. And it really permeates into the wood, and it creates like a really beautiful gloss, and it's starting to look a little bit glossy now, which I'm looking forward to it. And then once that's done, I can attach with my leather. And then done. I would have restored my first antique, which is one of the things on my bucket list. Since I was little, I've kept a list of things I want to do. I used to be big on antiques when I was, a kid and a teenager. You know, most kids like comics or, games and stuff. Nope, all about antiques. I used to go to antique shows, the antique fairs and things, and I just loved them. I still got a collection of stuff. I love antique boxes especially. I've got a load of boxes and all that still, and photo albums, because I just love the idea that these are people, these are people who were alive. I mean, lots of them were Victorian or even Georgian periods that I've got photo albums from. So these are people that were here on this earth, and they had lives, and completely different, and also in some ways similar to our own. And their photo albums are here. They're not with loved ones or anything. So I'll remember them. I'll cherish these things that I found for them. And it's just like a little peek into someone else's life. There used to be quite a few salvage places around my way, but they just aren't anymore. Most people just put stuff to the dump or whatever. I used to go to the local antique fair with my mum and my nana every year. Yeah, I love. I think they actually at beginning of last year they closed down most of what's it called? It's like a famous market and everything in London, Camden Street and everything. That place was just a glorious treasure trove. I loved going there, and to Brighton as well. Going down the lanes in Brighton, there's just all these little knickknacks and odd shops and things, and I love it. Yeah, like I very rarely actually get anything, but I just love looking at things. Like oddities and stuff like that. Yeah, I normally go to Brighton about once a year. I have a couple of friends who live there, and I love going there. It's just so beautiful. But obviously, last year and this year, not going to happen. Where was I the other day? Yes, it was when I went for a walk through Portsmouth. There were loads of cute little shops actually in Old Portsmouth. Old Portsmouth and Southsea. Which I mean, I've lived here my whole life, and I've hardly actually been there. No, we live as south as you can get, aside from Cornwall and all that. Aside from the little nubbin on the south of the UK, we are as south as you can get. Aside from the Isle of Wight, but we can see the Isle of Wight. I've kayaked most of the way over to the island before. It's not actually too difficult to do. Again, I haven't been to the Isle of Wight in years. Last time I went, my brother was staying over there because it's really good for fossils. And for his dissertation, he was studying the fossils over there. And we went over to visit him. That was literally like we had a trawl along a couple of the beaches and helped him search. He studied. He was doing micro fossils. So these were tiny. So finding these things was so difficult. But it is a nice place to go. It's one of those things that it's right on your doorstep, so you kind of forget it's there half the time. Plus, it does mean I have to go on a boat to get there, and I really don't like boats. I'm very, very, very seasick. Which again is a shame, because I would love to love boats. And I've tried. Ooh, I've tried. Worst thing in the world is when I went to Tasmania. I went to meet my brother and his girlfriend out there because they were travelling all around Asia, and then they went over to Australia and then Tasmania where my aunts and all that lived. So my dad and I went out to meet them. And they'd booked like a ferry cruise for us. It was like an 8-hour ferry cruise. We'd go out to like the smaller islands, which I revelled in because, oh, land! But I was stuck on a boat for 8 hours. I was just crying, and then every time we had to go in the water, I was just in tears. And then we'd be like on the little islands, and there's loads of history, fantastic history, and I loved it. And then we had to go back on the boat, and I'd be crying again until we got to the next island. Oh, Durham, no way! Durham was actually one of my university choices. My family come from up there. My maternal grandfather and all that, they're from Sunderland. So when I went up there to visit the uni, we went and stayed with them for a bit. When I went for my... So, I went to the Durham Open Day, and my first choice has always been Leicester. I've always wanted to go to that university. Oh, we can't be friends. Enemies. Enemies! But yeah, I didn't even look at what college I was, because Durham University, like Oxford and Cambridge and stuff, they have like a college thing, like college system. I didn't even look. I just kind of chose one. When I was first looking at universities, I wanted to go to Oxford, and I loved University College. So I was like, oh well, I'll choose University College up here as well. Didn't even look at it, to be honest. And then, because I got through interviews and stuff, I was invited to go up and basically spend like the weekend there. And it turns out University College up there is the castle. And I mean, it's a castle. So, if you don't know, I am disabled. I'm a lot better now than I used to be. I don't often need crutches or anything to walk anymore. It's only if I'm really, really bad that I do. But at the time, I was still quite bad and I needed crutches to walk most places. And I put this on my form. I let them know, because you had to fill out a form and everything with, you know, any allergies or special arrangements. I put this on there. I'm disabled. I use crutches, you know. I'm okay walking around mostly, but going up and down stairs really sucks. So we get there, and the student rooms, so where you live in, is at the top of this tower. And I mean, it's like a tower. Yeah, it's right directly across from the cathedral, and it's beautiful. So it's this huge like turret tower type thing. And they look at my crutches and they go, "Are you alright to walk?" I was like, "Yeah, I can manage stairs, but you know, it's just a bit more difficult." They're like, "Oh, well, you are up a few stairs." Like, I can manage a few stairs. I was literally at the top of this tower. There were no other flights of stairs up there. I had to carry my suitcase on my crutches up to the top, and even like the healthy students, they were out of breath and everything climbing to the top of these stairs. They were not nice stairs. I was like, why have you done this? Why would you do this to me? And yeah, it was lovely, but I think I loved the whole idea of Oxford and stuff when I was first applying, but I just felt that as a mature student, I didn't really, you know, I wasn't that fussed about the whole collegiate system. I just kind of wanted to get there and study, so I turned it down anyway. Plus I would have had to share a room. And no. I like my own space, please. it's only like for the first year that you share a room, whatever, in like college living, and then you you get like private accommodation. But I was like, you know what? I'm good. Yeah, I did see a couple of the shared rooms. I was like, nope, not gonna happen. As it was, I didn't get any of the rooms that I'd requested. I mean, I liked my room. I don't think I even applied for night in court. I mean, yeah, it wasn't too bad. It was right next to the botanical garden, so no complaints from me. Yeah, that was kind of hit and miss. I was glad that Knighton actually had really nice kitchens. Where was I? Because they did offer holder weekends a couple of years ago. They were going to do it last year, but obviously COVID, and again for this year. But I went on the offer holder days, and we stayed in Langdon, something like that. Lasden Court. And yeah, you could fit maybe 2 people into a kitchen. I don't know where you're supposed to store your food. There was like 1 fridge for 8 people. Oh dear, I feel so sorry for you. We actually had so much room because one person, so in Knighton Court, there was a block had 2 floors, and on each floor there could be eight people. I had a capacity for 8 people on each floor. Oh yeah, no, Lasden. Well, when I say that for the weekend, I had to put my mattress on the floor because the bed was so bad. It was terrible. So we had capacity for 8 people. One person, I think we just had a spare room. One person showed up, and they were gone in less than 24 hours. They just got really homesick. Another person left. They got quite homesick. I think that was after a week or 2. Someone else moved into their space, their room though, from another court. Someone else left, that they moved court, because, yeah, they were pretty loud, but, yeah, it doesn't bother me. I just put my headphones on. And then someone else left. So I think by the end of it, I think about only 5 or 6 of us left. And we had like 4 fridge freezers. So we had loads of room. Not to rain on you or anything. Look at me with all my space and my 4 fridges. it was quite funny walking, because nighttime is my time. I've always been a night owl, and I'd go and collect my post or go for a walk and things like that at night. And you'd walk obviously around the village because all these students, and all you could smell was weed, and it was just so funny. It's like, ah yes, the smell of youth. And those fire alarms were the worst. I mean, they were really shrill and annoying anyway. And then, like, the second half of the year, they started speaking. Like, they'd go off every Tuesday at about 1 o'clock for us in our block. And it'd be this horrible noise, and you have to wait for like 10 seconds for it to stop. And then they would start talking. It'd be like this automated voice going, "There is a fire. Please leave all of your belongings and make your way to the nearest exit." And it was like this really weird, robotic, kind of crackly voice. Like, when did that happen? The first half of the year, you didn't speak. Would scare the crap out of me every time, though. Yeah. Every Tuesday, I would know that the fire alarm was going to go off at 1 o'clock. Did I remember? No. Every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, I'd crap myself. Spooky loud noises. I don't like them. Oh. Yeah, I was surprised by how much the move to and from uni just completely messed up my sleeping pattern. Oh yeah, well, exam season, there was no such thing as sleep. You passed out every now and then you'd wake up and do more tests. I felt really sorry for my flatmates. They're studying medicine, and they actually had to go in for their exams. Whereas us lot, we just got to do them kind of just like homework. Sorry, my head's getting in the way again now. Just need to look at this. You can look at my funky coloured hair, which is fading really quickly now. Yes. Go look at, just look at my hair. Beautiful. Who cares about this? Just look at my hair. What did you draw? Honestly, cursed drawings are the best. It's like, oh yes, look at my child. I made this. Oh no! No, that is cursed! I need to practice doing like character drawings at some point. I draw them occasionally, but I'm just generally a bit too self-conscious. Rob's been bullying me into doing some actual drawing streams at some point. So once I feel a bit more confident in my style and my drawing, then possible. Possible. Yes, send me the cursed image. Oh dear. I had a notification on a Discord. It's like, oh, someone's actually using my Discord, and it was just my alert saying that I've gone live. Hey guys, if you're interested in keeping up to date with my streams and things, go and join my Discord. It's kind of empty at the moment, but we're getting there. And consider following that too. I'm becoming a full sellout. I've changed my name on Steam to kilowattsup TTV. So people are going to get mad and watch me and give me movies. Yes, but any new people watching, I generally stream games. But I just thought I'd try something a little bit different. That's it. I mentioned video games and I lost people. I know how it be. You've been gradually slipping. Ew, a gamer logs off. Deletes Twitch. I'm sorry, I forgot that you guys just follow me for my witty commentary. Give the cursed toad. That's not that bad. That's really cute. Oh, I like the one when he's in the little box. Anyway, for the funky hair. Yes, but it does change on a semi-regular basis. This is probably the longest I've had just one colour job in. I often repeat the same colour or the same like colour scheme. I think this is the longest I've just had one like dye job in. So I do my hair and everything myself. And that is one thing that I was kind of going to introduce. Particularly if I get some more traction and people interacting. Is choose my hair colour or colours or themes. I often get my friends to decide on a theme, and one of the winning one was peacock, so I need to try and do a peacock theme at some point, which I've got some ideas for. Well, yes, so am I. I've got some vague ideas of what I'm going to do for it, but other than that, I have no clue. That is pretty much how I do my hair normally, though. I'll give it a go. Now I'm doing a bit of texturing and bodying for the... It just kind of adds depth and in an easier way. Than like doing it properly. Just more stipples. It just kind of accentuates some of the patterns in the clouds. No, too light. Too much. Too much. Too much. Too much. I think it's because I've got a lot of water on the brush. It does, like, it dries up a lot darker. Like literally just doing random dabs with the brush, just kind of add some lighting and add some layers. And the next part after the yellow will be bringing out the red. So I've kind of, rather unorthodox, I've done the lighter bits first. Well, I did dark and then I lightened it up and then I'm going back to dark again. I'm a lot happy with this column. the other day I did not like it. I mean, it's still not perfect with this here, but the other day it was kind of more over this side, and it was like a lot thicker. It didn't have this curve. I'm just trying to accentuate the depth a little bit more right now. It's kind of like a Z here, which I'm trying to get, but I'm trying not to make it look too sharp. Oof. You are too much. You are too much. I do like, yeah, I've stretched that prong up a little bit more, which is more how it is in the image. I don't know how much you can really see of the picture there. I mean, even full screen, I've got my stream up full screen, and that's still quite small. But I have a very big picture of it. So I get to criticize myself a lot. My first big space painting, and it's not perfect? How dare I? Whoops! Whoop. Sorry about that. I hit my mic with my brush. Maybe I could just cut off this bit, and I'll make my table smaller. No. It looks so bad. Look at it. It's all spindly. This yellow here extends up quite a bit, actually. mean, this is what kind of yellow is this? Naples yellow. It's quite bright. I'm gonna have to go over this bit with more of the ochre, I think. You got your quarks back! Congratulations! I mean, this is definitely a job that's going to take a few days. A few more days working on this. But we've actually made considerable progress today. So I might go for another half an hour, then I'll probably end stream. I've got to go out and about tomorrow. And it's difficult enough to get some sleep anyway because of the heat. Remember kids, hydrate or die. Oh, thank you. Did you manage to get your charger working again? Oh, yeah, no, definitely, if any electronics start smoking, get rid of it. Technology is a wonderful thing when it works. I just seem to have difficulty with the getting it to work part. In a week? It died in a week? Do you accidentally have like a step up transformer outside your house or something? What are you doing to it? Oh yeah, there is no way you could, like, do that yourself. Just don't go into nuclear physics, okay? Oh yeah, you want rockets to, well, you want them to explode in the right way. It's kind of hard to see where the light's shining right here, but this is actually quite green and I want it more yellow first. And then I'll apply the green. On purpose. Oh, no, we're never going to be free of the yellow. Every time I apply another colour, I'm like, this needs more yellow here. But not to worry, we're going to apply a different shade of yellow in a moment. And hey, even this one's a different shade from the other day. I was using cadmium yellow, and now it's Naples yellow. I'm all about the diversity. I'm so messy with my paints, look! This is just the yellow that I've been using. I only need to splodge here, but I brush it everywhere. Yeah, thank you ever so much for joining in. You go, well, don't kill your new charger or your mum's charger, and go get some rest. Sorry, my cat was trying to get in my room, so I had to let her ring. Ruby, you can't just come in my room and then try and jump out the window. Can we get a cat on stream, please? Come here. Now this is gonna be fun because of the angle. Dun dun. Meow. Ruby, look. Ruby, look up. It's a cat. Look up. Look up. Look up. Look up. She's a grumpy cat. She doesn't care. She's like, no, put me back on my bed. Her bed, meaning my bed, that she just steals. Oh, no. Oh, there's fur all over me now. Oh, I love her, but she is a fluffy baby. What a way to end it. I'll see you later then, Ethan. Thank you ever so much for popping in. One day I'm going to make one of those prints where you get the pet-friendly ink and get your pets to like walk along a piece of paper or canvas or something. I'd love that. I have paw prints of all my babies. Where was I dolloping? I was dolloping here. That's it. So I haven't actually put much light or shading on this bit around here. I was so focused on this and so focused on this, I missed out on this section here. Yeah, Ruby's not chuffed because there's a really annoying loud fan that blows in her occasionally. But then when it's not on, it's too hot and I don't like this. Oh, fussy baby. And you've been pampered too much. Because I love you. She's my good girl. She's my cat. And she's 14 now. Getting old, baby. Because she's part Siamese, so that is quite old for them. I don't necessarily want to use a sponge all the time because sometimes it takes off like a bit too much and it kind of gives it a texture, and sometimes I just want to you know, lighten it a bit. Or like pick some of the paint back up with my fingers. Plus finger painting is fun. Sorry, I was just thinking of the last time I did finger painting or like hand painting, and I was just thrown back into a memory of at secondary school. In the art block, we had like these big windows, and it was like 2 stories or whatever. Like in the middle of our courtyard was the art block, and they did a whole thing of like redoing up the school and, you know, putting art and everything everywhere. And I think they actually got some of the students to participate, and they'd made this really lovely looking from a distance, like cherry blossom all up the side of this the art block, and it was lovely. But when you were on, and it was like pink, so because cherry blossoms is like pink. But when you were actually in the classroom, so on the other side of the glass, you realise that actually they were made up with handprints, and where they'd used like darker pinks and things like that and then layered over with the lighter pinks and whites and things for the quite good visual effect on the outside, on the inside it just looked like a wall of bloody children's hands. And I just remembered the first time walking into that classroom going like, I don't think they thought this through. It does make me laugh when schools try to do stuff like that, to be, you know, quirky or down with the kids, or let's make some art and inspire people, and it just goes wrong. like at Christmas, our library would put, well, the school would put up decorations, but the library would all decorate, and we used to hang out outside the library. So the outside, our library was on like the outer wall of the building, and so we used to hang out kind of outside that because there was another block opposite. And on that window they'd put like this sticker of like Father Christmas, and it was the creepy. So like it was the creepiest looking one they could have found, honestly. More detail in that bit. So when I'm actually looking at it, it's not being picked up by the camera, but there is like a lot more of the depth that I can see. That being said, the camera makes all this look so much nicer. It really looks like everything blends in really well. Whereas I'm looking at it, I'm like, no, that stands out too much. That stands out too much. Or like the colours look a bit dull and diluted in real life. Here on camera it looks really yellow, whereas the blue is soaking through quite a lot, so it still looks really green. So it's looking better. I mean, even this side I'm starting to like a bit more. I think this side in particular has a lot more of the red, which I haven't actually started to apply yet. This side is kind of the more vibrant oranges and things. So once I put the different shades of red here and kind of darken them, I think it will bring out this side a bit more. Plus, all of this, it's got the clouds. So I've literally just done the basic shape of the seahorse here, but the clouds will stretch out over here a bit more. It'll come round up over to here, which will cover some of the work that I've done, but it will give this darker shadow here. Same with around here, like this will be applying some more of the darker blues. Up here is just that. It's going to be a very bright green. I'm looking forward to it. It's quite close already, but it needs that glow to it, particularly up here it needs that glow. And then yeah, around here it's going to be the dark blue up here isn't too bad, and the border in dark blue here, this needs to be more of a turquoise, and then it's again adding that glow. So lightening it and lightening it and lightening it until it has this kind of glowing effect. How many times can you use the word glow before it just stops making sense? So we're not actually a million miles off, which I'm rather happy to say. I don't want to do too much more with the yellow. I'm thinking about what, because I kind of want to start on that different shade of yellow, because this is nice, this is the quite vibrant, but even this needs the slight contrast of the ochre. Is it ochre all about? Yeah, yellow ochre. This up here, I feel like this bit is just blank, but it's because it needs the red, and I'm not starting on the red just yet. Like around here, needs a darker yellow. I've got my bright vibrant bits pretty much done. So I think with that, I'm going to end this stream there. Thank you everyone so much for dropping by, and for the donations and follows and whatnot. It's been fantastic. I don't know if I'll do another stream tomorrow. I will do another one this week though, and hopefully we can actually finish this off. If not in one stream, then within a couple. But I don't want to, like, I want to stream when there's going to actually be some progress made, rather than I'm going to, you know, watch me focus on this tiny little section. You know, like tonight, this is the whole thing. So, I will stop talking for once, finally. And again, thank you ever so much. If you haven't already, please do chuck me a follow. Join the Discord, you can follow me on Twitter or anything. And I'll see you when I see you. Bye!